Hello, everybody. I know I didn't announce that I was going to go live and when. I kind of mentioned it this morning, but I wanted to hop on here and talk a little bit more about personal development. I know that, we mentioned it in our post and some of the ways you can do personal development, but I wanted to add on to that because I think it's quite a bit more than what we had in our post, actually. And Amy brought up a really good point too about the mindfulness. So I wanted to touch on that. And then I actually disagree with just a little bit of what was in the post. So anyway, just want to touch on all that. So I've talked about this in the past in other groups. So I want to kind of touch on some of the same concepts that I've talked about before, but I want to add on to that because I'm constantly learning and growing, as we all should be. And I still want to start out with one of my favorite quotes. And I know there was a great one in the post today too, but one of my favorite quotes for like the personal development topic is the best way to be successful in your business is to focus more on you than on your business. And I think some of us get caught up so much kind of just in the business part of it and, wanting to succeed there that we kind of get lost in the fact that we need to be constantly thinking about improving ourselves, improving our mindset, because that's where it's all at. So personal development becomes a habit like anything else. And it's not like you have to invest a ton of time in it. Like the post said, 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. Whether it's reading a book, whether you're listening to something, maybe listening to an audiobook, that's what I like to do. Listening to a podcast. You can do it while you're getting ready in the morning. You can do it while you're in your car on your way to and from work. You can do it when you're cleaning, when you're folding laundry, with headphones. There's so many different ways that you can fit it in. But I think personal development actually goes deeper than that. And mindfulness, I've been kind of hearing that a lot lately. It's kind of like just kind of keeps coming in. So I wanted to touch on it a little bit. Mindfulness, mindset, that is all personal development. Becoming more aware of yourself, more aware of your surroundings, those positive affirmations. I don't know that much about body scans. I know, Amy, you mentioned that as well. But I have heard about that, and I know that that's all a part of being mindful as well. Hi, Kim. But like I said, I think it's so much more than that. And in the post, I know that they mentioned, even the national wake-up call, going into the back office, that can all be personal development. But I tend to disagree with that a little bit. I think that's more business development. I think there's a difference. I think personal development is really more you focusing on you and developing yourself personally, whether that's emotionally, mentally, spiritually, whereas business development is more, learning the products, learning the business, the national wake-up call. Don't get me wrong, there are some great inspirational speakers, and there are some really good topics on there that really do or could be are classified as personal development. But a lot of times you are looking more at the business side of things, and that doesn't really necessarily make me grow as a person. And sometimes my personal development is, if I didn't get to church for a week, if I missed it on Sunday, I will watch, our church has kind of like an online, they do the message online they keep it online forever, really. And so I'll go on there and I will listen to my pastor's message. And that's my personal development. That speaks to my heart. That develops me spiritually. That helps with my mindset. That helps me in every aspect, honestly. More than a book could in a lot of ways. And I need that. That's part of personal development. Your daily devotionals. A lot of people are connected to, small prayer groups. All of that is developing yourself personally. So again, it's emotional, it's mental, it's spiritual. So don't discount those things and just think about these books that we're talking about and the podcasts, it's all personal development. And I know I'm kind of rambling on, but the one thing that you want to think about is looking for areas in your life that you need to improve on. So for me, I'm really working right now on developing myself more spiritually, because I feel like that's kind of the area that I need to strengthen. Whereas someone else, maybe they need to work more on self-confidence. Maybe they need to work more on consistency or setting goals or sticking to their goals or not self-sabotage. So it's whatever's right for you. We're not all going to be working on the same thing at the same time. So don't feel like, if someone is reading a particular book, that's what you should be reading. It's all very much individual. And if you need help figuring out, what you should be reading or, what could work for you, reach out to one of us and let's chat, because we can talk about it and figure out, what areas in your life do you want to develop more? What do you think you want to focus on? Another thing that I think a lot of people do, and I've been guilty of this as well, is starting and stopping. You try a book out and then quit, and then try a different one and quit, and back and forth. You really want to find something and stick with it. Kind of like when you're working out, you're going to get the best results when you pick a program and you follow it, because it's laid out in the way it's laid out for a reason. And if you follow it every day, do the workouts it says every day, you're going to get the best results. Same with personal development. If you read The Compound Effect, one chapter one day, and then you jump to, You're a Badass and read a chapter the next day, and then you skip a few days, and then you go to the 12-week year, or, I'm throwing out all these random books. But my point is, you're not going to get the best results if you're not really following through and listening to that entire book. But also keep in mind that, again, you're not necessarily going to be at the same place as someone else. So you may start a book and it's just not speaking to you, and you're not getting out of it. Your mind is wandering. You're just not feeling it. And by all means, at that point, once you've given it a chance, try something else. I've done that as well, where I've started a book and it's just like, I do not want to listen to one more chapter of this book. It's like I was just like dreading it. It's like, I'm not getting anything out of that. That's not developing me personally. So I need to find something new. That is perfectly okay. Just realize that that's going to happen. You're not going to connect with every book. But also be mindful of the fact that sometimes you're going to feel a little uncomfortable when you hear things, and that's okay. And maybe that means you need it. So be mindful. Sorry, I'm distracted because I just got a little Voxer message. These phones can be so distracting. I'm sorry, but all these like pop-ups and you're trying to like go live. I'm sorry. That's just my little rant. Anyway, I get distracted easily. I'm not, I wasn't going to say I'm not EDD, because I didn't mean that in a negative way. I could go on more about that, but I won't. I just get distracted. Where was I? Well, that's embarrassing. Rob, you're on. Where was I? Seriously. Brain fog. I need more personal development. Oh my Lord. Thank goodness it's in the comfort of this group. But okay, so just to recap what I've been just like passionately throwing at you, I would say 10 to 15 minutes a day is great. If it's not working for you, find a new book. Thank you. I hope you weren't driving while you were typing that. Yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to say on that anyway. But you need to find something that works for you, because we're all individual. And I think that we need to be... All right, so my son is calling me now. This is clearly the time for me to jump off. But thank you for your time. And if you'd like to reach out to one of us, we'd love to talk to you more about it. But personal development is huge. I cannot stress it enough. And it's not always going to be comfortable. It's not always going to be convenient. And it's not going to be the same thing for everyone. So find what works best for you. And if you need help, please, please, please reach out to us. So have a great night, everybody.